We are in the Greensboro Bog Garden, which is a kind of a fancy garden park. It has quite a lot of trails through it, and it's next to a big mall. So if the wife wants to go and shop, maybe the gents and their dogs can go for a walk through the Bog Garden. It's one of the North Carolina birding trails, and it's got a lot of information. You can have weddings here. It's a historic park. There are all kinds of statues and stuff. They ask that you stay on the trails, but I'm not sure I understand where all the trails are. There's Dr. Joe, I assume a founding member of the park. Benches everywhere. And some of these great big old trees. And lazy little stream through the, what is this stuff? It's called bamboo forest. I'm leaving Caesar in the car because he's kind of tired. We overhiked him this morning. It's full of bird feeders and things for the different birds and animals. Bird houses on the trees. They got some fake ducks set up here. Oh look, they're not fake. Duck decoys. We are in the slack time on the Aliner rally. All the way. On any of the rallies, there's usually the afternoon or the morning has nothing to do. So I always go out and explore, and places like this always interest me. You can go on Google and say what's nearby. If you go to Google and say, like I'm in Greensboro, I searched Greensboro, North Carolina, and then below the information, there's a button for what's nearby, and I just put on attractions or museums or outdoor activities, and you get stuff like this, and this is a pretty neat stuff. Obviously a lot of work's gone into this place. It's got a lot of nice construction. It looks kind of old though. From the looks, this has been well established. The wood is old and worn and has a nice feel to it. It has some interesting stuff that indicates that maybe they had other bird houses and feeders and stuff along the way, that maybe they got vandalized. Looking at the various stuff that's here, here's some knees from the tree. Now if this was Florida, we might see alligators sitting there. Those beautiful yellow flowers in a star-shaped cypress. That's what they are. I think these are cypress trees with their little knees all through the swamp, coming up for air. Oh, look at this. This is a nice little pond. Kind of a muddy pond, but you know, that's the natural pond. You can't always have these things so they look just wonderful. More noisy ducks. Obviously they've been fed. Some geese over there. Canadian geese. Canada geese are everywhere in the world. Too bad they're not endangered. This is a neat little swampy grove. This boardwalk goes on forever, I guess. I guess there's a little sign here that says this is wax myrtle, which makes sense. That's kind of what it looks like. We're going to wax myrtle. Somebody stole the plaque, told what kind of ferns these are. I believe those are cinnamon ferns. And here's a whole patch of May apples. These are a little tiny plant that has a flower that droops under that great big fat leaf, and then has a little red berry on it. They call it a May apple because they come up in early May. And then of course way over there we have the trillium, or a stinking Benjamin. The red trillium. It's got an awful smell. Oh, look at those bluebells. They're pretty. I think those are yuccas. Great big old yucca plants. Down here we have some skunk cabbage, I believe. They love to grow in the swampy, muddy muck. And more of those. The red trilliums that seem to be much bigger than I remember up north. I'll have to check if these are really the stinking Benjamin I remember. But once those flowers open, they'll be pretty fragrant. Don't know if these are native, but they're pretty. And you know, there's very few places down here that have not been cultivated and homesteaded and come and gone. So any good flower is a nice thing. Really. I don't like the things that take over. Oh, look. We have native wildlife. A dangerous, dangerous looking alligator lizard in the stream. This goes to show you got to be careful if you get near the water. You gonna lighten up? There we go. Now, the amazing thing about finding one attraction like this Bog Garden is a lot of times there's another attraction very close. And right across the street is the Bicentennial Garden. So we're going to go over there. We are way down here coming in along the stream. It looks like there's a lot to follow. And it's a pretty busy family park today for a Friday. Here's the sundial. It says it's exactly 12 o'clock. Look at that. How do you like that? Which means I don't have a lot of time to play in here, but this is a pretty neat little park. As the other park, they want you to kind of stay on the trails. Although, like, here's a little trail, kind of. I don't know if that's a real trail or not. We're going to take that. Something a little interesting. They got a real old-fashioned water wheel. I imagine the only problem is that it's probably pumping the water up to the sluiceway. More sculptures in the garden. You can always pause it if you want to read it. I try to get it long enough so that it gets in focus. Look at all these beautiful purple trees, though. I'll tell you, it's quite a beautiful garden. A lot of plantings here, but it's definitely a domesticated garden. I mean, they've just got it designed for constant blooming and flowering, and they do everything they can to keep it in great shape. People of certain places, another neat sculpture. Free to soar. Little kid scaring the pigeons, I guess. This was obviously a big community project to put this all together. I have these things in front of my house. I don't know what they are, but they are way overgrown and I've got to cut them back. All right, I think that's that's all we're going to show you that. We got to get back to the car if I can find it.